Day, a really nice day, because Mary Janet McDonald's here with me to visit, and we just got to meet today. I just knew about her because she was at my friend Lily's book club.
Yes, that's
and
right.
You were cooking up a storm, and today we're
They
kind
were
of
a great group.
were they good
They
group?
were a wonderful
Yeah,
group.
Lily likes to be the best at everything. So was it the best group you ever went to?
I swear to God, it was the only book club I went to. So yes, it was the best.
The best book club ever. She is as smart as a top, but she does like to be the best. I tease her. Anyway, we're going to have a bit of fun today. Mary Janet's going to show me how to make some chili. I'm going to teach her how to hook a rug, and we're just going to talk. And if you have questions for Mary Janet, just put them in the comments, and first show us your cookbooks, Mary Janet.
Okay. Well, this was the first one that came out in 2021, and it's Tunes and Wooden Spoons, recipes from a Cape Breton kitchen. Just basically a lot of recipes that were passed down by grandparents, mother-in-law, mother, friends, all of those kinds of things. Easy, simple, because that's what I'm all about. It's making it simple, something that you can buy locally, and a lot of the time you have that stuff in your cupboard.
Right. I love
Right?
you told me that you live in Port Hood, and everything you need in this books you can get at the Port Hood Co-op.
Put it in the Port Hood Co-op, and if it's outside that, it's too far to travel. And then McIntyre Purcell, or my publishing company, and Nimbus do the distributing. And McIntyre Purcell, they really wanted a second cookbook because the first one did really well and sold over 18,000 copies.
Wonderful.
So it was like a bestseller, I guess.
Yeah.
Who knew? A little Cape Breton kitchen cook. And the second one was harder for me to come up with that. So I relied on family and friends, and we decided to choose 12 wonderful women in their 80s and 90s and even in their hundreds who certainly had an impact and were the backbone of their family.
Yeah.
So we did 12 stories and their recipes, and that was born last year.
Wow.
And it's Love Without Measure, kind of a play on words there, because I love everything that we do, and reaching out to people and who are alone or need the company and just want to bake, and just measuring out the food and the measurements that you use. So it was kind of a play on words, and it's becoming it's already a bestseller.
Good.
Twice over. So
Aww,
that's kind of nice.
You. I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, thank you.
And now you have 7 children.
Yes.
Right? And it was your daughter who inspired you to start this?
She did. Our middle child, Margie, she's not actually the middle child. She's the third oldest. Living in Alberta during the lockdown in March of 2020, she called and asked if, Mom, we got to figure out something to do to pass the time.
Yeah.
And she said, you know how everybody loves your cinnamon rolls? Why don't you go on Facebook Live and show everybody how to make your cinnamon rolls? And I say, okay. And I'm up for anything, right? I'll say yes too often. And
you probably got in trouble once or twice.
Yeah, I did. But so I said, well, sure, but how do I do that? How do I do FaceTime, Facebook Live? How do you do that? And so she was trying to explain, and of course nobody can come to the house, so you have to figure it out on your own. And my son lived just 2 doors over, but couldn't come over because that was the restrictions at the time. And so I flubbed through that, got it on, and made my cinnamon rolls. And I had it set to public, and I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So it kind of went to more people than it was intended for.
Right.
It was only going to be for family and friends.
Yeah.
And it just took off from there.
Yeah.
And I was only going to do it the one time, and I thought, other people will take a turn. Let's do this cooking thing. And a couple of other people did do that, friends of mine, but it always came back to me.
Yeah.
And so I started doing it every Sunday, and I continued doing it every Sunday up until December of 2022.
Right.
And, incorporated music into it. And on that very first show that I did, my granddaughter, Anna, was making the cinnamon rolls with our son, Brennan, up in Halifax. And I had, my niece is Natalie McMaster, and Natalie's new CD had just come out, Sketches it was called. And I had it playing in the background that day. And just to fill in some of the what's that called? that air,
dead
dead
air,
air.
I guess. Yeah, yeah.
And because I didn't know what I was going to talk about, but I'm a talker, so I can fill in the air. And so anyway, we did that, and I lost my train of thought there. But my granddaughter Anna said Grandma should call this Tunes and Wooden Spoons,
And there it is.
and here we go. That's what
the name
happened.
of your first cookbook.
And that's the name of both of them are Tunes and Wooden Spoons, but a different subtitle on each, and available on Amazon.
Yeah.
And who knew, that it could become
Popular.
popular.
So wonderful. Because you do it with love, right? You're doing it like, you can just feel the honesty off you when you're here. Like, you know what I mean? You're just
Well,
yourself,
I'm glad
right?
for that.
Yeah,
yes, absolutely.
You can feel it off you, and
Yeah.
I'm so pleased. And I made your cinnamon buns last Saturday. I brought them in here to work, and I have made them for years with 2 eggs in in a 4-cup measure, and you have no eggs in yours.
No.
And I was like, I thought, she's not going to beat me on the cinnamon buns. My cinnamon buns are really good. Yours are better, like significantly better without the eggs. It's
hilarious.
It's lighter, right?
I can't explain it. That was my. I'll tell you how the cinnamon rolls started.
Yeah. 7
kids, not a lot of money, paycheck to paycheck. That was how we lived.
Yeah. You have 7 children.
7 children.
Yeah.
And you know those Pillsbury cinnamon rolls that you buy, and you crack the top and it explodes open, and there's a little thing of icing. It was a treat.
You're right.
But there's only 6 in a thing. So the baby never got it.
No good for your house.
And I thought, oh my God, I should be able to do this. So my mother-in-law, whom I absolutely loved and adored, her biscuit recipe is the one I use for making biscuits. And I said, I'm going to try, see if I can do this with the biscuit dough.
Yeah.
And that's how they were born. I just used her biscuit recipe, which is plain.
Yeah.
Like she had 13 kids.
Right.
So there were no eggs.
She was
there.
using more than 4 cups.
There was no hands on her property. So there was no eggs.
There was no eggs.
And that was basically how it started.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that recipe, to this day, my grandson, his 3.
Yeah.
And when they'll get in the car and they're going to come to visit Grandma, he gets on the phone from the car and, hi, Grandma. And I said, hi there, Asher. You're coming to Grandma's house? Yes. What do you want Grandma to make for you? And I'll give them some choices. And he said, cinnamon rolls and chocolate chip jumbles. So
that's it.
That's it.
Both recipes in the book?
They're both in the book. They were actually the first 2 recipes that I ever did. I did cinnamon rolls, and the next week I did chocolate chip jumbles. So
great. Well,
family favorites.
We just have a few of your books left online, but we will order more for sure because it's out of print right now because it's so popular. I know.
Who knew?
Who knew?
Who knew?
All right, I'm going to show you something now.
Yep.
Have a seat. You have a seat now. I'm going to show you how to hook rugs.
All right.
So you're going to be hooking and cooking.
Hooking and cooking.
All right. So I just want to show you guys the greens on this. I did choose a green and I worked on it this morning. So you didn't see me hook it, but you can get an idea. So now this is your hoop. Okay. This is like a heavy duty plastic hoop. It's made in the States. It's a great hoop. So I just want to show you. It has that little ridge there, and that little ridge is what's going to hold your.
All right.
Now, do you do any crafts at all?
I do a little. I've done a little bit of sewing and I've done some knitting.
Okay.
I've never done any rug hooking.
Good. Okay. Well, we're gonna see if you like it. So you picked this kit.
I did, and there were so many kits to pick from. They're just so beautiful out there. What a shop. If you ever come to Amherst, you got to come here.
I told her that.
Yeah, you did not.
I did not.
But absolutely, the company is wonderful. But anyway, I saw this, and I thought of my 2 best friends who passed away in early of 2020, and one in January, Marjorie in January, and Ethel in May. And I thought, you know what? There they are. They're walking up there in the clouds, and I'm going to make this, and I'll think of them when I hang it up.
Doing. That's good. I bet their spirit was with you as you were getting all this started.
I'm sure.
I'm sure it was. Yeah. Okay, so we just got a little piece of burlap here, and I'm going to put that on here for you, and we're just going to teach you how to outline, because I'm just going to give you there's only 1 stitch to learn. This is the beautiful thing about rug hooking. It takes about 3 minutes to learn how to hook rugs. Can you believe it? And the woman who taught me, sorry.
I know, I was going to say, the Acadian women down our way are They do rug hooking, but I think
Beautiful.
it's different.
They do a shed camp. They
Yes.
use a finer yarn, and they hook in every hole, and they do it sort of in a grid, but it's still the same.
Same idea.
Yeah. So we're gonna start. So which one is which? Which woman is which woman?
Ethel is taller.
Ethel. So that's Ethel.
Okay.
So we're gonna start, and we're gonna outline Ethel's coat. So this is all the materials, and everything is in here, and there's a color key in here for you, Mary Janet, when you get home. And so this is called The Two of Us. So the woman on the left, the woman on the right, her coat's going to be brown, and you're going to outline her coat in black. So you're just going to take a bit of black yarn. We'll just take a strand. I think a strand is easier to get started. And here's your hook. Now, I hold my hook. Whoops, excuse me. Got to be careful with this shirt.
You'll really be hooking.
Oh, yeah. I better be careful. Thanks, Mary Janet. We needed that.
Oops. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, I've got the giggles now. It's bad.
All right. So you're gonna put.
It's bad when it's live.
It is, but that's good. It's good. Good, bad. Doesn't matter.
Oh dear.
I just know I'm turning red. Okay. We're gonna. I don't even know how to teach you. Someone show me how.
Oh my God, I don't know where that came from.
Okay. All right.
That's Ethel.
You're gonna thread this. That's Ethel?
Yes.
Knock it off. It's enough, Ethel. Okay. You're gonna put it through your two fingers like that.
Okay.
Just like when you're knitting or crocheting.
Yes.
Or you never crocheted before. And you're gonna put it underneath your frame. So right here like this. And you're gonna put your hook down. And when I put my hook down, I put a little hole in it. And then I catch it.
Okay.
And I bring it up. And then it's loop by loop.
Oh,
by
okay.
loop. And you don't have to hook in every hole. You just hook in every second or every third.
Okay.
And it's the packing of the loops to get, like, this opens and closes. It's the packing of the loops together that keeps it from falling apart. So
amazing. Okay.
All right.
I've got to learn how to hold that.
So I always feel now you got to put it kind of underneath your chest.
Okay.
And if you cross your knee, just kind of like that. Thank you, because that is a good. Can you do that?
I'll do that.
You do that? All right. You
Okay.
do that. Let's see what we got.
I still have the giggles. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I said chest.
Oh dear. Okay. So
Okay.
I'm holding it like. Now do that again. How do you do that?
Okay. You hold your hook like you hold your pencil.
Like a pen?
Just like you're in school. And then this goes underneath.
Okay.
All right.
I'll put it underneath once I know how to hold the yarn.
Yeah.
So, oh my. This could be a challenge for you.
No, it's not a challenge at all. And then you just kind of push it together there, like, yeah, like that.
Okay, just like that?
And you're kind of almost wrapping it around. I'm going to pull this over so you can see me here.
So I'm going to go
You
down.
got her. Yeah.
And I'm going to pick this up and take it all the way. The first one I take.
The first one you bring the end all the way through. You got it. Just split it a little bit, but.
Oh, it did. It did split.
Let's try it again.
And I'm going to do that again.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
You got it, Mary.
Okay.
You got her. Okay. Now I'm going to bring that end all the way up. Let's get the end out of the way. All right.
And then I'm going to go down and I'm going to loop up.
Yeah. And it takes a bit of practice.
I can see this. I will get this because
I'm
determined.
I have no doubt that you'll get it.
So
You'll
just
get anything you
just
want to
loop
get.
it.
There you go. You got the first one. That's your first stitch right there.
And then,
when you put your hook down, hold it like the hook itself. Put the hook at a kind of a 45-degree angle.
Okay, I'm just going to fix that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a really common mistake.
Like this?
Yeah, like the hook. Yeah, like this.
The hook is up.
The hook is kind of up. Yeah. There, you're doing great. See, some people can do anything they want, and she's one of them, right?
I'm not so sure that I'm just that
You're
great
doing
at
good.
it.
Well, I mean, you only did 3 loops, girl. You know what I mean?
I believe you. I believe
You know, like it. Yeah, you can't. You're not gonna.
But
There you go. But you got it. I mean, that's it.
And that's it. You
That's
outline the
it.
whole thing.
Yeah. There's
And
no knotting. There's no tying.
So how does it stay in without knotting?
It's the packing of the loops together, right?
Okay.
So what happens is when you hook outside of this and inside of this, you're going to squish them kind of like they'll all get packed together. And the burlap, when you go down like that, it opens, right?
Yes.
But if you leave it, it just kind of closes up again. Right?
Okay.
So you could just pull it out, but you wouldn't, right? It's just like you're not going to take your pottery mug and drop it on the floor. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like you're just going to take care of it. So
when you come down here to the point here, do you just then go down here and pick it up and or do
you'll cut it. You'll clip
you'd
it.
cut it? Okay.
You'll clip it and then you'll start again in another place.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any YouTube videos?
I have all kinds. She's
instructional?
asking all the right questions. Yeah.
Oh,
and I have a little free course online and it's like 6 different videos and it'll take you right through start to finish so you can watch it.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really I think you will like it.
I know I will.
Yeah. And when I'm doing it, like if I'm using a hoop,
yes,
I lean back and I just sort of, you know what I mean?
You just have to find your comfort.
Or if you're at a table, you could sort of lay the hoop on the table and kind of go like that.
Okay.
It's pretty easy. Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
So you'll find your
find your comfort
groove there.
You will absolutely find your groove and you will do well with it. Yeah. I say like in the first 10 minutes, you pull up 10 or 15 loops. In the second 10 minutes, you pull up 40 or 50.
Yeah, you get that.
You get that
little motion. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So you're set.
I am. I'm going to love this.
This is your package. It has everything in it. And that's our gift to you.
Thank you so much.
And I want you now to show me about your chili.
Okay, let's do the chili.
All right. I'm going to put all that together. And I'm going to put your hook in here so we don't lose your hook. And I'm going to put that over with all your stuff. All right.
Sounds good.
Come on up. Now, Mary Janet, you take over.
All right. Well, this chili I've made a few times. So in this pot, I have about a pound of ground beef, lean ground beef, so you're not getting a lot of fat in there. This is a really quick chili. You put it all together, just dump everything together. There's no onions, there's no peppers, there's none of that like you would have in a traditional chili. And where I got this recipe, somewhat of the recipe, my friend Janet McKenzie, her husband has celiac, so it's amazing what you can find gluten in. And so some of the beans had gluten in it that she was trying. So she had a very simple one. And this was the secret ingredient, the crushed pineapple. And I had it at her place and I loved it. And so I've made it for my family, but I've started adding more different beans and the tomato sauce, which she didn't have on hers. So in here, as you can see, I've got the hamburger all ready. There's no seasoning in that. It's just browned. And you're just going to add all of these ingredients. Usually I add, this is a 795 ml can of crushed tomatoes. We're going to put that in. We're just going to dump everything in together.
This is great.
I always use beans in tomato sauce. And if I see the pork in there, I'm going to take it out. I
couldn't find it without the pork, but
is
it's
that
probably
right?
Out there, is there?
Well, you know what? Here's Amherst, and in Port Hood, I can get it out of my co-op without pork. I love my little co-op store. They do everything. But you know what? They missed the pork on this one.
That one? Yeah.
So
the pork is never very big in there anyway, usually.
Right? And kidney beans, whatever beans you like. So I have kidney beans, brown beans and tomato sauce. And whatever beans you like. Sometimes I'll put chickpeas in there, but not often. And like the black beans in there. and a can of tomato sauce. And I made this. I was invited down to Digby Pines, and they had. I still have a hard time believing that I'm an author, but they had authors there showing. There was an authors weekend, and so I did a presentation, and the chef at the Digby Pines made all of my recipes for that weekend.
Aw.
Isn't that something
Isn't that
sweet?
something?
And he was retiring that weekend. So that was a can of kernel corn, the tomato sauce, the black beans, the kidney beans, the brown beans, the herb tomatoes, and the secret ingredient here we have
Pineapple.
the pineapple. If anybody has ever had salsa with the melon in it, this will kind of give you that kind of a flavor. And you basically just mix that up. I'm going to put this up a little higher to get it going.
Do you bring it to a boil or anything?
You bring it to a boil. I'm going to add the chili powder momentarily. But you bring this to a boil, and then you put it way down low on simmer because you don't want it to scorch on the bottom.
Right.
But you just bring that up to boiling, and then you simmer it for 15 minutes. And now I'm going to add, it might sound like a lot.
It does. It does sound like a lot.
But it's really not. It's 5 tablespoons. But if you're somebody who doesn't like a lot of heat, just add 3 maybe. But this is 5. I put in all the time, and
you measure.
And I do measure it.
And do you measure all the time, Mary Janet? Like, are you a measurer when you're cooking at home?
In some things, like the things that I make all the time, like salt and those kinds of things, and vanilla, I don't measure that.
Yeah,
I don't measure that. And
the chili powder changes the color of it, doesn't it?
It does.
Really
it does.
Deepens it.
It deepens the color, and
I'm kind of surprised about the brown beans too in the tomato sauce.
Yeah,
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I know. And it was my friend Janet that's how she gave the recipe to me. And I probably wouldn't have added it had I not tasted hers, and I really liked it.
Yeah.
And again, chickpeas in there. I had on my show a couple of weeks ago 25 kids from Vermont, musicians from Vermont. They were traveling through. They were visiting Cape Breton.
Yep.
And some were vegetarian, some were vegan, some were meat lovers, some have gluten intolerance. This is what I made. I made this chili, and then I made it without the meat.
Right.
And put the chickpeas in that. And they loved it. It was great. Okay, I have this on high on this induction heater. We just have to wait till it comes to a bubble.
Yeah.
It might take a little bit of time.
That's all right.
And then we'll turn it down on low for 15 minutes, and we can sample it. And I brought biscuits.
You did.
I made them yesterday morning before I left.
Yeah, and Lorna made biscuits too.
And she did.
Yeah.
Did she use my recipe?
Oh, she has a recipe that is a secret. She won't even tell us the recipe. We had a biscuit bake-off here one day. So I don't know. It could be similar, but.
And I brought a few squares because we have to have tea at some point.
Yeah,
but maybe not on the show, but whatever. Yeah, we will. We'll have that.
A cup of tea. So we're all going to eat this chili up. We have studio audience today. You know that?
Oh, we do.
I was walking with my friends the other day. Here, we're paying the studio audience. We have no prizes for the studio audience. You're not going to find anything under your chair.
Okay, that's not.
This is Catherine. Catherine used to work here. When she worked here, we called her the mocker. And this is Joanne. And they are my good friends. There was, I think, a lot of people were calling you the mocker at that time. Yeah.
I just mocked you.
She mocked me. Yeah, she did. Our featured product today is my friend Delia Burge. Another homegrown product is she shears her sheep and dyes it for us. So we have, I just want to show you. I'm just going to open one because they're so gorgeous. I got to figure out which one I want to open because I want to use it. Oh, I can never go wrong with blue. I'm going to open, I'll open the blue. All right. So this is Delia Burge, who is my longtime friend. Delia Burge had Water Street Studio in Pictou, and they just closed this year after 35 years. And Delia was one of the first persons ever to sell my rugs. I walked in there, and with my rugs underneath my arm and a baby, and she started selling my rugs. But this is all the fleece that you get in one of these cones. I just want you to know. And look at that. Oh my God, it smells beautiful. Anyway, so Delia dyes this fleece, and I'll just show you how to hook with fleece, just so you know, while Mary Janet's bringing that to a boil. So I'm going to just take a little bit of this blue, and off we go. Put Mary Janet's kit aside for her. Don't lose it. I have to decide. So this is the greens that we picked out. So maybe I'll put some of this blue in the sky. I'm just going to give this a little turnaround. Excuse me. And we have 3 cameras today because Igor is filming for Mary Janet, so we can go live on her Facebook page. And of course, Angela and Lorna are filming for our page. So when you hook with fleece, so you get a piece like this. Well, you're not going to hook it like this. If you hook it like that, it's going to be really clumpy. So what I like to do is I like to pull it apart. Just thin it out a little bit. Like that. Now that has a nice soft texture to me. And I'm just going to put my hook down. I'm going to give Mary Janet another lesson as we do that. I put that hook down, and I'm kind of pointing the hook and the wool kind of together. I bring my end up, and I catch it, loop by loop. Only one stitch. So Mary Janet, I always tell people at the end of the show, and I had already told you this, but I always tell people towards the end of the show, and I think we're getting towards the end of the show, aren't we? Do we still have a little bit of time left? Got 5 minutes left. So I always tell them why I do it, and one of the reasons why I do it is because I think that when you share rug hooking, you just don't know what you're sharing.
Exactly.
You really don't, like, because you just don't know whether if somebody just might need to be thinking, to be quiet, to meet people, because you can use it to meet people, and you just don't know what you're sharing. And I feel the same way about when someone drops a loaf of bread off at your door. You don't quite know what you're sharing sometimes.
You got that,
right?
just there's a whole lot of love in that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
You don't know if they're having a hard time or what they're thinking about. And when you're cooking.
Yeah.
And when you're hooking, it's the same idea. You're thinking, and you're putting yourself in there, and it's you never know what people are going through.
No,
and
you don't.
When you share your gift with everybody, it makes them better. I feel. I really feel that. I'm sure you're the same. You're so generous with your time and your talents that you're sharing your stuff with me, and I can't wait to share this with you.
I can't wait to share that either.
It's the communication, that
I have a feeling, though, that if I lived closer to you, I would get some biscuits and stuff dropped off at my door once in a while.
You definitely would.
I know.
Next time I'm going by Amherst, I'll stop in with some chocolate chip jumbles.
All right. So Mary Janet gave me something she brought because she's a generous spirit, and I just want to show. Why don't you tell them about your daughter's business, your daughter and son's business?
Yes,
and you can tell them the word.
That's okay.
I think that's harmless.
So really, it was through Tunes and Wooden Spoons that the idea came to them.
Yeah.
But what they as siblings, they use the word friggin' a lot.
Yeah.
And so a lot
better than the alternative.
It's better than the alternative.
Yeah.
And so they started a business called goodfriggincompany.com without the G on the end of friggin'. It's just friggin'. And so they have all these shirts like Be Friggin' Kind, Mama Friggin' Tried, Full Friggin' Throttle. I mean, it's tons, but it's all on their website.
Yeah.
And so through them, one of the messages that I give at the end of the show is that I love them and that I want them to love one another. And, people were saying that should be on something. So that's what I did.
So she brought me this sweatshirt. And it says, love one another. Isn't that great? I love that. Love one another. And it's really beautiful. And I love this color. And on the back, it says Tunes and Wooden Spoons. So that's from Mary Janet to me. And we should just is it coming to a boil? Are
Yeah,
we
it's
okay?
just coming
getting
to a
there.
boil.
All right.
Do you want to have a little taste test? Even
Oh, I think,
why
you
not?
think we're good? All
I-
right.
I
I think we should get Catherine and Joe in for the taste test.
Yes,
What do you think?
I have 2 spoons here. Come on, Catherine, and yes, Joe, come on over. It's not quite the spice.
Do you want me to
probably
get you a little bowl?
hasn't really fed through the whole thing, but you're going to stay for a little while after the show, right? All right, here you go. You might get a little hit off the.
Are you going to feed me, or am I going to?
Here, you're going to do that. Here you go.
There you go, Jojo.
There you go. Give it a try and see what you think of the pineapple in
I
there.
love the pineapple.
Do you like
and then
that?
When I saw the can, I thought that's
Knew right away.
Yeah, because I often put sugar in.
Ah,
So this sweetens, but there's a tang to it.
there's a little
That's good.
taste, but it's nice.
Yeah.
And I mean, it hasn't even reached its full
It's
potential
really good.
there.
Look at Joe's eyes.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
Now, Joe's been following Mary Janet for a long time
Yeah.
since you started. And your husband said her cinnamon rolls are better
We're
than
the
yours
best.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so funny, honestly.
And it was all because your grandmother didn't have any hens, really.
Yeah, that's right. No eggs. But anyway, yeah. Here we go. And
So we'll put the recipe on the
Yeah, we should put the recipe
The
on
recipe-
the website today,
and
and
the
when
recipe-
we post it. Can we do that underneath the live today?
they certainly can. And
Yeah.
it's also on my website. It's on
Okay.
it's on there somewhere.
And your website is Tunes and Wooden Spoons.
.com. Yeah.
Tunesandwoodenspoons.com.
Yeah. Mhm.
And we're hookandrugs.com.
And well, why don't I get the cookbook out and show them the page, and they'll see the recipe right on.
Absolutely.
It's in
I'll
the
grab
first
it.
cookbook, the far right,
Okay, thank you.
and it
We
might be page 112. I'm not sure, but I
All
better
right, let's bring it out.
let me find
Excuse me.
that.
So we're all going to stand around and have lunch. And if you're in the neighborhood, come on over for a bowl of chili.
You got it. Okay, I'm lying. I don't know what page it's on. I have to look at the
Okay.
index.
That's all right. We
And
got time.
index says 120. I was close.
You were close. 112.
All right, and we can just put that on the screen and they can see it. Sweet and easy chili. So, can you see the words on there? And we'll get a good shot here. Boy, this is really technical. Three
We got
pages
three
here. And an easy, quick recipe. That's what I love about it. And once it starts to boil, really turn it down there because it'll tend to singe at the bottom. And I'm just using the induction heater, and
I can see it coming there now.
it's just coming. And I'm going to turn it down on low and just let it sit there for 15 minutes and stir
Okay.
frequently. And
Just so that doesn't.
you
yeah.
know, if you have those things, how many people have this in their pantry anyway? A lot
It's
of the time
there.
you might want to buy the black beans, or even if you don't have the black beans,
You could just use
just-
another
yeah,
bean,
that's
whatever
right,
you have.
whatever
yeah.
you have.
Yeah.
And it's all about
Can of
what's in
kidney
your pantry.
beans or
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
It is all about
Yeah.
what's in your pantry. Yeah.
Awesome.
rinsing anything, you just chuck it all in.
Yeah,
Check
you
it
didn't
all in.
rinse anything.
No.
Yeah.
I do for the kidney beans and the black beans. I do drain the liquid off those 2 cans.
yeah.
I did that prior to the show. So
Okay. That's
uh,
good to know.
and I don't put that in. But you know what the heck?
If you did,
If you forgot,
yeah.
that's fine too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
So I always sign off by saying that you don't know what you share when you share rug hooking, but just be sure to share it. And thank you. And you always sign off by saying,
and I want you to know that you matter to me. I love you, and I want you to love one another. Bye, everybody.
she means it.